I think she looks like she's, hunting me.
You think?
Yeah, like a tongue is going to come out of her mouth and she's going to snatch me out of the air because she looks like a frog.
Come on now.
Listen, I like frogs.
I didn't watch Queen's Gambit.
You can't say a woman looks like a frog and, I love frogs.
I do like frogs.
Yeah, come on now. That's just mean.
She looks like, come on, can we please acknowledge it? She looks like Sid from Ice Age.
How tall is she? She looks.
Can we please acknowledge it?
Hold on. That's a little too far now, my dude. That Sid from Ice Age.
I mean,
she's a beautiful woman.
She's pretty in a weird way.
Sean Connery was a dog.
Connery has such a unique charm to him. You want to kiss him right now.
Dude, I can't take it.
Welcome back to the Wacky Wonderful Wise Works podcast. We're back from the break.
We're back.
We've been on a break for a minute, and we're back from it. So, coming back from this break, because we were on one, but now we're back, I'm having trouble thinking of things to say.
That's fine.
What for the? Just
So I've been improvising.
In banter.
No, I'm just trying to be funny.
Look,
You're hilarious.
we're glad you're here. All you people joining us back on the Wacky Wonderful podcast. All of you guys, gals, geeks, and goofballs, we love you.
Mm-hmm.
We love you so dang much. What?
We should sing that. Welcome back.
Is that from something?
No, I thought it'd be,
You're so funny.
give the people a little singing.
I don't want to sing right now. We got to get into the spirit of things.
I thought
before we break out the tunes.
So we established on the studio channel that we have a new opening. Hello, friends and lovers.
Yeah, we should change it. This is the first episode of the season. We should change it.
No,
I think we keep Hello, friends and lovers
for the
studio channel.
specifically the live, I guess.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was funny. Hello, friends.
It's better than welcome back to the studio channel.
No, it's not.
friends and lovers.
Welcome back to the studio. You don't want to scare people away. Like, okay, the studio channel is where all
You're
the
not
new
going to
people
scare
see us.
people away
No,
if you
no.
call them lovers.
Welcome back, lovers.
It's enduring.
It's friends and lovers.
Friends and lovers.
It's enduring.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that they're lovers, like our lovers.
Yeah.
It
No,
means
yeah.
that,
It means that they
there's,
are
there's
loving.
lovers out there.
There
People
are.
who love.
You know,
And
then,
love is the best thing.
I agree. Now I agree. And if you guys choose to opt in and make that a common thread,
If
on the
we
studio
start
channel,
doing it, then it's going to become a
has to.
thing, and then he's going to have to start doing it.
Yeah.
I watched. I finished all of Avatar: The Last Airbender. Round of applause for me. It just took about a season and a half.
Yeah.
Uh,
And you enjoyed it.
I did. I have a serious hard note. They introduce a new plot point that saves the day that was not previously established beforehand.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big story hole.
Yeah, but
That's a get out of jail free card, essentially.
It doesn't because it is a kids show. That doesn't feel like terrible.
But it felt terrible to me. I mean, honestly, when I saw it, I was like, this is super bad A, but I also was like, I feel a little gypped story-wise.
Well, think about this. He's the avatar. He's the bridge between the spirit world and our world, right? He's essentially the earth spirit incarnate, right?
Yes.
And so he's having this emotional dilemma, and he can't figure out a way. So the Earth, the planet, sends him a way to deal with this,
a lion
right?
turtle.
And I believe you're right. They should have established something like this early.
Like, I don't know, a legend of something.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Of power bending. I don't know anything to just give us a forethought.
But
just a single forethought.
They introduced other things like metal bending in the show.
But that's fun. That's not
just because they had more time.
Okay, but that's like during the questy moments of the seasons. This was a pivotal end of show plot point that was not previously established and kind of pulled out of thin air, it felt like. Okay.
But he still has to make a decision at the end.
He does. And I like that character development. I'm just saying, I just wanted some kind of Easter egg about power bending or something, or a legend of power bending or something, where it's like maybe everybody who knew this secret or mastery of power bending had all passed away.
Okay, give us a 1 out of 10 for the show.
I give it an 8.
Okay. That's good. That's high. I will say about the lion turtle, you know, not everything happens with foreknowledge, right? In real life. We don't have knowledge of something previously and then, you know, we use it later in life. Some things we just learn along the way.
Yeah.
You know, some things just happen, right? And that's not an excuse I make for a lot of stories. But for this one, they established that the world is big enough and that there's a lot of unknowns. That
like metal bending and like blood bending. And like details
and
to
like,
things,
you know, the owl in the library in the desert. There's a lot of unknown things in this world. So they established that anything can come out of nowhere.
Yes.
You know? And the turtle comes out of nowhere.
He does. I feel like we got a lot more character development from Katara and power development through the blood bending, or like you're saying, through the metal bending, than we did with the thing that was the key to solving this plot, this problem that the whole story is built on. You know,
right?
How is Aang going to defeat the Fire Lord?
I don't know if you're choosing to continue watch some Korra or not. I have not finished all of Korra, but I watched most of it. I think I watched all but the last season, basically. There's better bad guys in that one because Avatar is, you know, the bad guy is very singular. It's the Fire Lord. That's basically the bad guy throughout the show. There's better bad guys in Korra. The story's not as good, and the Avatar character Korra is not as good. But
I also felt a slight bit gypped that we didn't get a chance to see the uncle be super badass.
Yeah.
Like we just heard of him escaping from prison, doing crazy, amazing things, and then we don't actually get to see that power really.
But we see him being badass during the comet.
We do.
That is easily that's my favorite moment in the whole show is where he's standing there on the rock and he's just like, and the fire's just rising around him, and then he just.
But everybody gets to be cool during that. Every firebender gets to be cool during the comet. I wanted to see his ability, and all we really sampled was when he revealed that he does like the dragon breath tactic, or that he can redirect lightning, you know, that kind of thing.
Well, they established at that point that Iroh was already a badass, so seeing him break out of prison is like, well, we knew he could probably.
I'm just upset they did it off screen, okay?
Right?
I
mean, we saw when Azula tries to lure him and Zuko onto the boat, we see him beat up, you know, like an entire group of military guards with minimal firebending. He firebends like once or twice, but otherwise he's fighting them hand to hand.
True.
And they're firebending.
Yeah.
So we know he's a powerful character.
I just wish there's a lot of things I wish I saw more of, or I got something out of it. Overall, I love the story. I love the world. It's fun. It's really fun.
Yeah.
I felt gypped at certain moments.
Okay.
And I let's say this, I enjoyed it so much. I was emotionally involved, so when they didn't deliver on something I was hoping they would, I felt sad.
But on the things
not apathy, which is important.
On the things they did emotionally deliver on, the tent scene in particular.
Great.
That's a powerful scene.
Tent scene?
Where Zuko goes into Iroh's tent and he says, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You know,
it felt like,
I failed you.
Prodigal son moment.
Yeah, and he hugs him like a father, a father should. It's like one of the best moments.
It's really good.
It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful.
And so also, it's beautiful. I can keep my promises. It's just delayed.
Yeah.
Sheesh. A lot of delay.
I can keep my promises, though.
A lot of delay.
Just like a Lannister.
You know, you always pay your debts.
That's right.
me.
True. Well, we've got a long podcast.
That's right. And so we're going to be this season and probably into the future going to be rolling out a little touch longer on episodes. That is to make up for the fact that we will no longer be recording midnight specials. Now, if this is the first you're hearing of it, we're sorry. We don't want to linger on it too long. And if you're a Patreon supporter, we go into it a little bit more detail on our pre-show. If you want to support us, you can watch it there. Otherwise, we might discuss it in future episodes here and there as to what our reasoning was.
Yeah.
But right now, we decided against continuing the pre-show at this time.
Not pre-show.
The
Midnight
pre-show,
special.
the midnight special. The pre-show is for patrons,
Yeah.
and we do that exclusively every single week. So, first topic, you ready?
Yeah. Let's get into it.
Oppenheimer.
So Oppenheimer, they released some news that Jordan Peele filmed with the IMAX cameras, right? Filmed on IMAX, 65 millimeter. He filmed Nope with these, right?
Yeah.
So he's becoming a part of, and that was like the whole, like when they were saying that cinematically, Jordan Peele was doing innovative things in the space that no one's ever seen before. It had to do with the specs of IMAX cameras, okay?
Yeah.
And IMAX is specific. They've actually pulled out this new initiative that is called Filmed on IMAX. There's also the standard, which we most of the time see filmed for IMAX. There's a difference, okay? And I'm going to explain it, but first I want to get to some information revolved around what Christopher Nolan's doing with Oppenheimer that's new, as well as some things Jordan Peele had to say. So at the top of this article, Jordan Peele said he didn't want to release a lot of things, but they had the same director. So the guy that usually works with Chris Nolan worked on Nope, all right? So it's kind of around the director of photography. Do you know how to pronounce his name? Hoytema?
Yeah.
Something like that. He's the director of photography. What do you mean, here we go again?
Zooming in. He's always zooming in.
Who doesn't want me to zoom in now?
You're good.
All right. So where was okay, so this is what Jordan Peele said. The thing is, it is really hard for me to talk about the film because we simply haven't really this is what Hoyt said. Hoyte? Let's just
Peele
say what Peele
Maybe
added.
that's what Peele
that's probably what he said. He said, I don't work for the film. I don't have a contract or anything. All I can say is I'm so envious I didn't get to be on set for this production. The talent is incredible. The images, I have seen a couple of images from it, and that just looks so beautiful. It's going to be a real, it's what I'm most excited for next year. So this is like Jordan Peele specifically, who he's a very artistic filmmaker. This is what he's most looking forward to, and I think a lot of people are.
Well, yeah, and he's shown what he can make, especially with Nope and what he's been filming with, and he's excited to see what Christopher Nolan's going to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
And the thing is, and it's working with the same technology, but there is something a little different. So specifically for Oppenheimer, Christopher Nolan has worked with the IMAX company, and they have created a black and white analog 65 millimeter IMAX camera, which is the first IMAX camera that shoots black and white. Now you might be thinking like, well, we've had black and white films before, but not for IMAX quality. So basically what IMAX quality is, you have to shoot with film, and you have to shoot...
It's not in black and white, is it?
No, not the whole thing, just certain bits. So you have to shoot with film. It has to be 65 millimeter. There's never been a black and white camera for IMAX film.
We were watching today Memento. I always say Momentum. Memento, and in the movie Memento, which you definitely should watch, that it's a fantastic movie.
Christopher Nolan.
Yes. Well, so was Christopher Nolan.
Yeah.
He does this artistic choice where the guy in the film is talking on the phone. It's when they're kind of showing us the timeline, it's in color, and then they flash back to him talking on the phone and explaining it, almost narrating the film.
Like his thought process.
It's
almost.
black and white. Why does he do that? I don't know. It also is Christopher Nolan, so...
he probably likes the back and forth thing.
Yeah.
Back and forth, but like color and black and white. Color,
It lets us know, it gives us a certain ambiance for these scenes where the black and white feels more introspective, I think.
Yeah.
Where it feels like, oh, this is what's happening in my mind. And a lot of movies and TV shows do a color change for memories
Yeah.
to let you know that this is a memory or this is something that has already happened.
Yeah.
They also do it for Mexico.
Although, which is different for that film because the memories were in color and the narrating now was...
Don't spoil everything.
Yeah, Memento's...
Well, that's
Memento's
explaining.
all
He was
about
narrating the film.
Yeah.
But
So let me quickly describe the difference between shot on IMAX and shot for
Yeah.
IMAX. Okay, so IMAX specifically, as I have said, if you shot with IMAX or shot for IMAX, you're using an IMAX camera. It's on film, specifically 65, which remember for the longest time, industry standard for film cameras was 35 millimeter, okay?
Okay.
It's been the case for a long time. IMAX brought it to 65 millimeter film, which it just means the film's a lot bigger. There are digital cameras with large sensors that they use shot for IMAX, right? But it's not shot with IMAX. And IMAX, the company, has actually created a list of cameras that they deem worthy, or they give like a certifying stamp to use the term like shot for IMAX. So like Top Gun was shot for IMAX, right? But it's not shot on IMAX. And in fact, shot on IMAX is extremely limited. There are very few films that have ever been shot on IMAX. Christopher Nolan is their golden boy, basically, right? And it turns out that with their new initiative distinguishing the two, they're actually going to create kind of this hierarchy in the film industry where basically they select certain productions and say, okay, you're allowed to shoot with IMAX film. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that they can get that kind of gold stamp of approval that Chris Nolan always gets.
And I think that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's good because if you get this approval from IMAX, it's going to force you to think about your movie a lot differently.
And I think that's why he's thinking about the black and white, embedding that black and white film. So you can't pull color from black and white, you know? And you could just say we're just going to make it black and white, but then you lose the quality in some way. It's not baked in.
But I mean, this is for quality of movie as well. You're not going to be able to go up to IMAX and say, well, I've made 3 Marvel movies and I'm planning on using this to make a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, no.
We don't allow it.
No, that's dumb, and nobody wants to see that.
Yeah.
You know? So it'll force people to be like, I need to up the quality of my film.
Mm-hmm.
is it in... What's the biggest K they've got right now?
The biggest K? It's not. The film doesn't operate in Ks. That's
4K,
digital
5K?
pixel. So the thing is,
film.
with film, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
okay.
That's the distinguishing. So shot for IMAX is mostly digital. So like RE cameras, red cameras.
Okay.
Those can be, certain of those are certified by IMAX companies saying you can put a label that says shot for IMAX here, but it's not a shot on IMAX. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There's a difference. They're creating a hierarchy. They're creating a quality standard that's above all the rest. And Chris Nolan, like I said, he's like the king innovating in this space right now. Him and Jordan Peele, really, you know?
Yeah.
That's it. And that's why all of this hype around Jordan Peele as a director was happening around Nope, and is because of the kind of cameras he was using and the contracts and everything. He worked with IMAX, the company, for that film. And that's why, like when Interstellar came out, why there was all this hype about the cameras and the specs of what Chris Nolan was doing.
Yeah.
It was because he was working with IMAX company. And some people understood it, but it wasn't broadly like distributed for everyone to really understand this concept of what's the difference between shot for and shot on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is the first shot on IMAX black and white piece that has ever been done, and that's going to be done in Oppenheimer.
Very
So
cool.
it's
I'm excited
cool.
to see that.
It's interesting new space, and we are gonna freaking get an IMAX theater.
We
for
will see this
Oppenheimer.
one in
I don't
in
care if I have to
IMAX.
spend $50, man.
What did we watch that wasn't?
Avatar.
Avatar. I
okay.
thought for
Way of
sure
the
we were
Water.
gonna get Avatar.
This
But it wasn't going to be worth it.
it would have been.
Did
worth
we
it.
ever... I guess we did. Did we do Were we still doing podcast when that came out?
Yeah.
Did we talk about it
Yeah,
on the
we
podcast?
talked about it.
yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
terrible movie.
It
Terrible
would have
movie.
been. It would have been worth it
Lies.
for us, not for you. But that's fine.
Me and Wyatt would have loved it. You would have been so pissed if you spent that money on what you
I am
disliked
dedicated to seeing Chris Nolan movies in IMAX.
For sure, 100%.
I want to see. I'm definitely going to see the second Dune
in
IMAX. I'm big movies like that.
I don't think Dune is shot on IMAX. I think it's probably shot for
probably
IMAX.
shot for IMAX.
But it's going to be
movies
awesome.
like that with that. I don't know. There's a certain scale. There's a certain way of telling a story. That you kind of need to see on IMAX. I think is really fun.
I do think the second Dune will probably be better because they are going to introduce characters that they promised us in the first one and gave us for 3 minutes at the end of the movie.
I think it's going to hopefully round out the whole story, and then we'll have freaking
Stop breathing heavy.
Then we're gonna have like 6-7 hours of Dune to watch.
Yeah, heck yeah.
It's gonna be like Lord of the Rings.
I was so excited.
You just sit down and be like, I'm gonna start, and then it's gonna take me 3 days.
But I rewatched Dune Part 1. It's so good.
It's enjoyable.
It's so freaking good.
It's enjoyable to
Here's
watch.
something that you guys are gonna hate.
What?
Seen the movie one time
That's okay.
One time.
when it came out.
That's okay. I fully understand anybody who's only seen it once. I've watched it multiple times because I love the book. I love the book, and I love high concept.
Yeah.
High concept sci-fi. It's hard to do correctly, and nobody has been able to do it right in the modern era.
Yeah.
Even Denis Villeneuve, when he did Blade Runner 20, well, it was
24 crap.
it was beautiful, right?
Had Dave Bautista.
And I thought the story was interesting, but it was. I think it relied a lot more, a little too much on the first one, and it subverted expectations in a way that you didn't expect, and so I think that turned a lot of people off from it.
Maybe.
I will say Dune is going to be better because it's continuing a story rather than, with Blade Runner, they're almost creating
he had
the
to make
same
a new thing.
Creating the same thing of what we've already seen.
Right.
Essentially. Maybe not, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean by
it's
that.
It's
Continuing the story.
yeah. So I think it's gonna be a good year for the IMAX.
Yeah.
And
with Dune, I think it has so many dark magic concepts and ethereal overtones with the story itself that Denis Villeneuve's his filmmaking and storytelling vibe fits
Really
perfectly.
works for that.
It works perfectly.
Yeah.
He's got this very gothic style to his storytelling and his visuals, and so it works awesome.
It works, and Dune is kind of a very religious story, so it works with that style.
And what better cinematographer can you get than
Greg Fraser?
I mean, come on, man. He's the king of cinematographers. Maybe next to this guy,
Hoytema.
Hoytema.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce his name.
It's Hoyt van Hoytema.
All right, then.
Is what it looks like, at least.
That's how it appears on screen.
We went back and, talking about Jordan Peele, we went back and watched Get Out not that long ago.
Was it good?
I'd never seen it, but it is
You
good.
enjoyed it. It's freaking good. It's why the whole hype
Compared
was
though to Get Out, Nope to Get Out has an indie feel to it in a sense.
because it was.
It was the quality, the storyline is fantastic. There's nothing down on the story because it was a fantastic story, but the quality of it, and it just felt very indie.
It's because it was, man. I
good.
mean, that was Jordan Peele's breakout director role. That was indie.
Would it be too much hassle just to look up what the budget for that film was?
Sorry, Shelby.
Get Out.
We'll come back to
Nope.
Shelby. Hold on.
I will say, watching Get Out and then watching Nope. I haven't seen Us. Even though there is a difference in feel from indie to, a more professional feel, they're both very clearly Jordan Peele.
Maybe we should watch that.
What?
Us.
Us falls short of both Nope and Get Out.
They do. It does.
Okay.
I mean, it's not bad. It just falls short of those two films,
Okay.
So the budget, whoa, $4 million.
$5 million. Let's just say $5 million.
We'll call
round
it.
up.
We'll actually, for marketing, we'll probably call it $8 million, because usually it's a little less than double the budget for the marketing cost. So at most, like, comes under $10 million. That's an indie film for the market. Okay,
I'm gonna say Nope was $90 million budget.
You think?
Yeah.
$90 million? Let's see how much of a jump Jordan Peele got in his funding.
There's a lot of
with one
special
movie
effects.
Yeah, with one movie.
There's a lot of special effects in this one.
Yeah, with one movie in between them.
68. Okay,
million.
not a bad guess.
No,
not a
yeah,
bad
bad
guess.
at
You're
all.
not too far off.
Yeah, that's a pretty big
I
jump
shot
in
over
funding.
though, but
You shot over, but it definitely, I would agree, wouldn't have broke 100 million. But yeah, that's a lot.
But all of his earnings are in the plus. They're all net positive.
Yeah.
So that's good.
well, that's also this price, but something that we didn't have with Get Out that we do see now. I guarantee Peacock paid them some money to have it on their streaming service.
Yeah.
So I bet you there's a chunk of Peacock's money that
Like
we don't
contracts
see
and
here.
stuff,
Yeah.
yeah.
To have that movie exclusively on Peacock, which we do not see.
Thank you, Shelby, for being a Patreon supporter.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
You're the best. We have
Appreciate it.
what do we have going on Patreon these days? We got the exclusive pre-show,
Pre-show.
like a mini 20-minute podcast, 25-minute.
I got some
we're,
watch parties
We're trying
here.
we're trying to get more watch parties. The last one didn't work out.
Oh,
Seth.
that's yeah.
Thanks, Seth.
Dang.
We did
Poor
have to
Seth.
explain that.
I mean, it wasn't. It's tough. It was a lot of stuff that everybody had.
It
to
was
go through.
it was a virtual
watch party.
watch party, which there's a lot of moving parts.
There's a lot
in
of
that.
moving parts. So
And everything seemed like it went well, except apparently his card got corrupted.
Mm.
So he lost his end of the conversation.
So it would have been a very one-sided conversation.
Yeah,
It would be
I
a
mean-
no-sided conversation.
No, we were
look,
talking.
I was on the ball.
You were
for the Grinch.
You're probably
okay. I had
We
some.
were doing the Grinch.
I had
for Christmas.
some banger
Jim
jokes.
Carrey's Grinch, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
I was.
Jimmy boy.
It was good.
Do you know that was directed by Ron Howard?
Yeah.
That always blows my mind when I see that. I don't want to keep bringing it up. Thank you, Shelby.
Yeah.
You know, you're
Thank
the
you,
best.
Shelby.
We have other stuff on Patreon, as well as this podcast a week early. So if you want to join the Patreon, see all of our content, all our podcasts early, as well as the exclusive pre-show every single week, we'd greatly appreciate you to be over there.
There's a
and
good
support us.
library on there.
Yeah.
At this point, we've got a lot of
We
stuff.
got a ton of
Got some
stuff. You
stuff.
can watch. Whoa! I mean, you can go back and watch like the video versions of Midnight Special for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's tens of minutes.
How many minutes do you think we got?
No, with the midnight special, also.
Yeah.
You probably have.
You got a lot of hours.
327 episodes.
Tens of hours at least.
We didn't do.
We don't need to do
300
the
of-
math right now.
Yeah,
We don't need to do the math right now, but we got a lot of stuff on Patreon. Go join.
I would
You
say
can
100
watch-
hours.
Well over 100, I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a good time.
But what was I going to say? Oh, I watched 13 Lives, also directed by Ron Howard. It has Viggo Mortensen. The
Yep.
true story about the kids that got trapped in a cave. They had
I've
to get
heard
them
that's
out.
really good.
It's freaking good,
Hey,
man.
hey,
It's
hey.
really
I
good.
heard that was really good from a film reviewer that I like
Okay.
to watch.
really,
Here we
really,
go. Here we
really
go.
good.
We watched that. You watched Memento.
I've seen Memento a long time ago.
You watched it for real?
Yeah, I've saw it a long time ago.
Ah, okay.
Bro,
Yeah.
you think I'm not on the ball on certain things.
What's Guy Pearce doing nowadays?
He did Count to Monte Cristo, and then he said
Years
dip.
ago.
and then he
Long
said
time.
dip.
He was in Iron Man 3.
Yeah, he was.
Oh yes, he
Um,
was. I totally forgot about that.
I don't know what he's up to right now.
He got some of that Marvel money.
Yeah.
That fall off Marvel money.
He probably just kind of stepped away. There's been it is since I would say 2018. There's been quite a few actors that have just kind of stepped away, and we've gotten almost a new generation of actors in a sense.
Yeah.
With sorry, that was my stomach. With like Austin Butler, with like Timothy Chalamet, with Tom Holland, Zendaya. You know, there's
Just keep going, bro.
there's been a lot of people new actors that are on the scene that weren't on the scene.
Yeah.
You know, and
That's
speaking
how
of
age
15,
works.
That's how age works. And speaking of new actors,
No, Guy Pearce isn't old enough to like
No.
I mean,
step away and retire.
Right.
he could retire. He could retire.
Maybe he works on indie stuff. I don't know.
Doubtful.
Or maybe he has a family.
That's true. He might be a family man.
Yeah.
Or like Shia LaBeouf. What was Shia LaBeouf in last time?
Okay,
don't know.
well, I gotta. Is it Shiloh?
Shia
Shia LaBeouf?
Shia
Yeah.
LaBeouf.
S-H.
I don't pronounce people's names right. So.
I don't know how to
LaBeouf.
pronounce it all correct. So it's Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah. L-A-B.
But we always go Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Okay,
Shia
Shia.
surprise.
It's Shia. Okay. Speaking of new actors that are on the scene, we're going to be talking about Anya Taylor-Joy's new film,
Yeah.
The Menu. We're going to do a
Wait
review.
a minute. Why is it her film?
I mean,
Because she's the main character.
she's the main character
She's
of
the
the film.
protagonist.
Okay. We'll accept that. I think he was
We'll
pretty...
accept it. It's a fact.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
it's
accept
the
that.
fact of the movie.
I'll accept that.
What's Voldemort's actor's name? I forgot.
I forget.
That's
Just
all right.
pull
I'll
up
pull it up.
IMDb.
I got you. So we're gonna. A lot of people's been raving online. People are like, "This is crazy. This is such a good movie." We're gonna give our thoughts. All right, we're gonna share all of our intuitions.
So I'm not going to talk
our
about
gut reactions.
specific things quite yet. I'm just going to give an overall my thought when I was finished with the film. It was. We talked about this, and I said it was
Ralph
kind of this
Fiennes.
horror thriller.
Ralph Fiennes.
It was kind of like a horror thriller, but at the end there was a twist that you did not expect, and so it was unique in what they were doing in the horror thriller genre.
Yeah.
from what you normally see.
This is a interesting movie.
Interesting. Go back to IMDb
Because
again.
it's like,
I was
it's-
gonna pull up this guy.
Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, Ralph.
It's a dark comedy.
Funny. I liked his character.
Not him. That's not Ralph Fiennes.
No, this guy.
That's Nicholas Holt.
Nicholas. Yes, that's what I meant.
The movie is very dark comedy.
Yes.
It's and I think the comedy for the most part for me landed very well.
Oh, 100%.
It was executed well. There were a lot of funny dark moments, and I think that played out really well.
I almost, in the genre of what this was, I almost kind of saw this as like a Jordan Peele movie in a way.
It felt kind of Jordan Peele-ish,
It felt
didn't it?
Jordan Peele, not 100% Jordan Peele, but it felt a little bit like
it had
what he
vibes, definitely.
did, what kind of stuff he does.
Yeah, and what was it? I was surprised by Ralph Fiennes' versatility as far as his. I know he's a great actor. I know he's done incredible stuff. I just hadn't seen that side of him before, where you see kind of the straight-faced, serious, dark individual, but then you see these pockets of him lighting up. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Especially at the end.
I think he is masterful in the Grand Budapest Hotel. Have you ever
Okay.
seen
I
that? It's a
haven't.
Wes Anderson film.
Okay.
He is hilarious.
Okay.
He is absolutely hilarious in that movie.
Was it a similar vibe?
What is it? The
Like his
Frenchman?
delivery?
Wes Anderson.
What movie did we
Of
watch?
comedy? Yeah, it's similar.
For Ralph's performance.
That we watched over at your place one time. Was it called The Frenchman?
The French Dispatch.
The French Dispatch.
That's a
Wes Anderson.
Wacky movie. I didn't get it. I would watch it again, but I didn't get it.
I don't
that
think
time.
people understand Wes Anderson.
I don't.
You, I think, would.
If I watch more, of
I
his
think you would
stuff.
like Grand Budapest because it has a through line. But it's that same kind of vibe. I like his style. It makes me feel a certain way, and I don't know why.
So we've talked about this before, where I don't like movies. So we talked about Memento, and then comparing it to something like Tenet. I get Memento because it's got a simple concept where you have to figure out the pieces to it, but I get the concept. Tenet, I also understand, but I think there's not enough of a simple concept behind it, or like there's something to it that's too much of a high concept, or this that it's I don't like the movie. I get what he's trying to say, but I just don't like it.
Christopher Nolan does a good job of executing high concept but having incredible character work, and that's like the big part of it. Is the character work inside of the high concept. I think he does that well with all of his movies.
Yeah, 100%.
And, some of it's a little bit more high concept than others, and that's okay. He's got a range.
He has a lot of range.
Pick and choose, which I think is good.
I mean, but like I just lost the one with Matthew McConaughey, Interstellar. I love that movie. It's a fantastic movie. That's very high concept. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Some movies and
it's also about characters. His character work is so good.
Yes. Yeah.
This movie, Anya Taylor-Joy. What'd you think of her performance?
I thought it was really well done. I think she grabbed a hold of the character she was perfectly and showed it to us.
I think she looks like she's hunting me.
You think?
Yeah, like a tongue is gonna come out of her mouth and she's gonna snatch me out of the air because she looks like a frog.
Come on now.
Listen, I like frogs.
I didn't watch Queen's Gambit.
You can't say a woman looks like a frog and I love frogs.
I do like frogs.
Yeah, come on, that's just mean.
She looks like. Come on, can we please acknowledge it? She looks like Sid from Ice Age.
How tall is she? She looks.
Can we please acknowledge it?
Hold on. That's a little too far now, my dude. That Sid from Ice Age.
I mean,
she's a beautiful woman.
She's pretty in a weird way.
Yeah.
Okay, but so is Jennifer Lawrence.
Nope. She's traditionally attractive.
No. They're different, but I get what you're saying. They're both unique in their own way, and that's what. And they're
one
also
of them
pretty.
looks like a frog.
Look, Anya Taylor-Joy is objectively beautiful.
And one of them slept with Harvey Weinstein.
Do you think Jennifer Lawrence really did? You think?
I think so. I may be a little bit of a conspiracy theorist, but I think so.
Dang it, dude.
Yeah. And but I thought she played out her character very well.
Mm-hmm. Where you're confused for most of the film why she's there and who she is, and then it comes to light, oh, they're not together.
No.
Yeah, I assumed that she was like a new girlfriend.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
But they told the story well of why she's there, and it works out with Ralph Fiennes' character and his demented state of mind, and her ability to kind of get out.
Yeah.
Well, this wasn't Get Out,
No, but it had,
It had a Jordan Peele Get Out.
Yeah.
But his delivery of when the girl is like, he's like, did you go to a university? And she's like, yes, I went to Brown. And he's like, and do you have any student loans? She said no. He's like, you're gonna die.
That's a brilliant
You're
line.
gonna die.
Yeah.
And it was really good.
Yeah.
And we knew, from the trailer, we knew that they were introducing death. We knew that there was going to be this element to the story. So there was no surprise there when they started bringing it into the story. I think what they did so well was these stories, because they told him he's telling a story with the meal, and he does. Yeah. And it feels, and I was talking to Jonathan, he's been on the podcast when we did the Hot Ones taste test. I was talking about this movie with him, and he said that he was a bit underwhelmed with the story as a whole, the film.
For real?
Because he said he was trying to analyze it in such a deep way that that he couldn't find what was being communicated, what the story was. Was it the 7 deadly sins? What was there?
I thought the exact same thing. When the movie was over, I said, okay, I get the ending, but what I don't understand. And Wyatt said, he's committing suicide. And this was his last meal once he committed suicide. And I was like, oh, I didn't pick up on that at all.
Mm-hmm. That's actually a really freaking good point. This is his last meal, and he's bringing people with him.
And
he's revisiting all of his thought, all of his memories.
And he knows. And then they add that into, he's revisiting his memories, the things he did wrong, the reasons he is committing suicide. And then there's this little glimmer of hope, right? When the girl asks him to make a cheeseburger, a regular cheeseburger, where he remembers in this suicide letter, this living suicide letter of this meal, where he remembers a time where he's happy. And this is something he didn't expect to do. And that's why it has a profound effect on him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is because he remembered when he was happy. Everything else he says in it is remembering how bad his life is.
True.
And how terrible these people's lives are. But this is a glimmer of hope.
And that's kind of a good way to end such a dark story.
Yeah.
You know?
And the ending is ridiculous. He even says, this is the dessert, and it's a deconstructed this, and...
Deconstructed s'mores.
Deconstructed s'mores, and it's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
and you kind of see how his meal and this whole suicide thing devolves into this weird cult thing, and it's like, we're just going to go out with a bang.
So when I watched it, I was thinking like, this island and him creating meals for people, that's what he did on a regular basis. It was like this, he killed people on a regular basis. I almost want to watch it again, realizing that, because I didn't realize that when I watched it.
Yeah. It was enjoyable to watch.
It was a unique freaking film.
I said after the movie, I don't know that this is for everybody, but at no point during the movie was I not engaged.
Correct. And that's a quality for a successful film. Whether it spoke to you, whether you liked it, or it doesn't matter. It made you feel something, and you may not have liked the way you felt, so it's not for you. But it is a successful film.
Yeah.
100%. It's not a dud at all.
I enjoyed this way more than Glass Onion, for example.
Yeah, same. Yeah. Same. And a lot of people, I think a lot of people were slightly disappointed with Glass Onion compared to Knives Out.
But I mean, both stories are kind of a deconstruction of humanity.
Yeah.
And this one executes it better with a darker, funnier
Yeah,
they are kind of.
I mean, you could say that about any movie. Yeah. This movie, I was being a little bit pretentious. This could have deconstructed humanity.
I mean, but it literally is deconstructing humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, that at least
you want to give it
his version of
a 1 out of 10. What would you give it?
Say Viersen.
I said his version.
His version.
Viersen.
Let's see. The acting overall was really good, so that plays a big part of this story. If you don't have good actors, you don't have a story, or at least for a film like this, it was all reliant on that. I am going to give it. I'm gonna give it a 7. It's a really successful film.
Yeah,
I wasn't leaping for joy like throughout the film, or like just being like, "Wow, that was crazy cool," which I have in some films. It didn't. It made me feel dark. It made me feel melancholy, which it's supposed to do, I think. And it's not a happy ending, but it's a very successful film and an engaging story and done well for what it is. I'm calling it a 7.
Me thinking about it, I'm also going to give it a 7 because it was very unique for this type of movie, and it was good. I liked how the characters acted and all that. The only thing that I really wanted, but maybe this isn't right to put in. Maybe we shouldn't be putting this in. Maybe what they did was all that you were supposed to do, but for this film. But me watching it and wanting to feel for the characters a little bit more, especially the 3 like douchebag chef guys.
Yeah, or business guys.
Yeah. Well, they were chefs, weren't they?
No,
they were part of the guy who owns this restaurant.
I almost kind of wanted something in reality before they went to the island, just to give me a sliver of who they were before they walked onto the island, you know? But it opened up with them going to the island.
I think the opening does that very briefly with each character, which I think is okay.
But it's more of she's asking about the characters, and he said, "Oh, these are," and it's like him telling.
Well,
it's not.
It's
we
almost
see that character development.
Well, almost with every character, it's deconstructing the characters as well.
Yeah.
And so you're saying it didn't feel like it had much to deconstruct because these are all new characters.
In the process of learning about him, we learn about them as well.
Yeah.
But
we learn about the truth about them. Joshua wanted to see like what their facade was.
Their facade was in real life, so that once we got there and he started doing these things to him, you would feel more empathy for them because you know who they are.
I think that the point was to not feel empathy for them.
I'm saying that maybe they shouldn't have put this in, but that's what I want.
I think it's because of his perspective. He feels no empathy for them because he doesn't care because they don't care, right? So us feeling empathy for them, I think, defeats the purpose of his feelings, because that's kind of what the movie's about, is his feelings.
Really, the only person we feel empathy for is Anya Taylor-Joy's character. And personally, this guy. I don't think he deserved it, honestly. He's just out here marketing and whatnot.
Right.
And just trying to do things.
I
felt bad for him.
I mean, I like that, Ralph Fiennes' character is like, I hated that one movie you were in.
I don't like it.
It's so petty, but he's suicidal. And he's not in his right mind.
Yeah. What is this guy's name? He doesn't even have a character name. It's called Movie Star. John.
Like
can you zoom in a little bit? I can't quite read it. Can you zoom in a little bit?
Would you stop with the dogging on the zooming? This is me. Love me.
You know what? He played Sid.
He did.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No, come on, man.
He did. He played Sid.
He did. I know he did, but gosh dang it. Why we gotta bring Sid right back around? Full circle Ice Age, my man.
For a second, I was like, wait, what?
Good grief.
No, that picture was fantastic.
Anya Taylor-Joy is beautiful.
She's beautiful. Is she's English or French?
I don't know.
She's one of those. One of those people.
One of those people. Are you sure she's not American?
No, I'm almost positive.
Right, well, if we're bringing the question, I gotta figure it out.
I'm almost positive
now.
she's like British or something.
Okay.
Amphibian.
Where is Anna or Anya? Anya Taylor-Joy from? Miami, Florida. So yeah, she's
That's
American.
Funny.
I said it, Miami.
No,
Florida.
is that where she? Okay, we know.
Yeah, Miami,
grow
Florida.
Up right here. Do grow up. Click on that.
She has a British father.
Raised in Buenos Aires and London.
Okay. Yeah, he's British.
Argentine father is of English and Scottish. Her Argentine father is of English and British descent, and mother is of. Google failed us. Yeah.
Okay, where was she born?
Google.
Where is she born?
Actually, no. We're dyslexic. Reading failed us.
Miami, Florida. She's from America. She might have a father who is not from here. Maybe. But she's from Miami, Florida.
She's born here.
Yeah, 26 years old. She's younger than me. Dang it. Crap. I hate it whenever I see someone super successful. It's younger than me.
She's 26.
26.
So you're saying there's a chance.
Yeah, you want to marry a frog?
I like frogs. Look, I like frogs. I like frogs, and I like Sid. Okay.
So therefore, logic is a through line.
Yeah.
Anya Taylor-Joy. She's beautiful. I really enjoyed the menu. What did you rank it?
Oh, I agree with you guys. It's a 7. Yeah.
Solid. 7s all around.
Yeah.
The number of perfection, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
We got 2 more awesome bits to go through. But we're going to play a little bit of a true or false game.
True.
Right.
So we're 50-50. We get 50-50.
That's right. And you can agree with each other. You can disagree with each other, however you want to do it.
I'm assuming you know all the answers to these. So you're not playing.
And it's not just I have the answers. I have factoids. So we can learn.
He's going to educate.
He's going to
educate
us.
We're all going to become more knowledgeable about, guess what? The very first. Okay, so our season.
I already know
our season theme. But our season theme this season, season 13.
Yeah, we didn't really open up with this.
Secret agents.
The opener is going to be on this video, right?
Yes, on this video.
Okay.
People get an idea.
And we forgot to talk about that. The new opener is really fun.
It's pretty fun.
It's a fun opener.
Maybe we'll end with that.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
Well, no, this is our secret agent bit.
Okay.
But, it's inspired by, obviously, James Bond and Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And
the theme is secret agent spies.
Yeah, danger is kind of the theme.
Danger. yeah, kind of. So I thought it would be fun if I take the very
Pink
first.
Panther and what is Jacques
Cousteau?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah,
go ahead.
The very first Tom Cruise Mission Impossible film, and we do a true or false, okay? And we learn about some cool facts and play a game in the meantime.
Yeah.
Of what happened during this Mission Impossible production. So, are you guys ready? You ready to guess?
If I was gonna, before we get to it, I just want to say one thing. I would say Mission Impossible is like the first of its kind. Like this, not in Secret Agent, but like this action spy movie. There's been a lot.
Yeah,
since
it was
since
kind of taking James Bond and making it not like comedy as well. Because James Bond was hokey but funny. It was action, but quirkiness and
British
and this was taking that idea and making it's like we're following legitimate agents who are going out and doing secret missions.
Yeah.
And
it's not just all about the explosions, and it's not just all about the action and the fighting.
And the women.
It's really about like gaining intelligence. I mean, that's really what secret agents do.
Subterfuge and tricks.
Yeah,
and
tricks.
All
That's
sorts of fun
why the
stuff.
masks have been such a through line through all of them.
Yeah.
You got like 5 masks in every Mission Impossible Tom Cruise film.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's go through it.
So, the first true or false. Tom ultimately got Paramount to make the film. It was his idea from the start. So Paramount, so we know Paramount from the old TV show. They owned the Mission Impossible title, the Mission Impossible idea. Did Tom Cruise approach them, or did they approach Tom Cruise? Is basically the true or false.
Tom Cruise was a big actor at this point.
Well, he's small.
He's very short. Yes. No, he had a lot of films when he was like a teenager, and I'm assuming Top Gun was out before this. I'm gonna say true. Tom Cruise did come up with the idea. Okay. I'm saying he did Top Gun, and then he was like, "Oh, I want to do this agent type thing." I'm gonna say yes.
For posterity, I'll say Paramount. It was Paramount.
You don't have to do this the whole game. If you think,
No, I know. But for this first one, I'm gonna say Paramount probably, since they own the IP. It feels like
they might want to.
It feels like Tom Cruise was. If they were wanting to resurrect it, Tom Cruise is hot at this point. Get him to be our agent.
Okay. All right.
Be our leading man.
So
that's false. Is what I'm
Paramount had the rights to Mission Impossible, but never had done anything with it. Enter Tom Cruise, one of the biggest stars in the world. He loved the TV show Mission Impossible growing up, and he wanted to make the adaptation
it was a TV show. Didn't
of
know
its
that.
first. He wanted to make an adaptation of it, the first project for the new production company. He met with Paramount and got them to agree to greenlight the film.
Did not know that it was a TV show. Actually,
You didn't
honestly
know about
didn't.
this? Our fathers talked about this all the time.
Know that it was a TV show.
Yeah, when we first saw the first movie, our dad's
my
like,
dad,
this was a TV show.
My dad
right?
talked about The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Really?
Yeah.
Which was another spy thing. It was a radio drama and then a TV show.
Or like, this is not so much spy, but like, the A-Team or
our dad
stuff
was
like
always
that.
talking about the A-Team.
I understand, but I didn't know.
Mission Impossible is an old title.
Yeah,
for TV, just like 21 Jump Street.
This makes sense because Tom is so heavily involved in all of these movies. He makes a lot of the decisions. It would make sense that this was his idea and his baby.
Correct. Okay. I'm sorry. Tom had to be the one to convince Brian De Palma.
That says brain.
Brain? I meant to write Brian. I wrote these by hand.
Like I said, reading has failed us.
Brian.
Yeah.
To direct this film. So Tom had to convince. Tom had to be the one to convince the person who ultimately directed the film.
This follows the logic.
So this I am going to say yes because I know.
You're saying true?
Yes, Tom Cruise did convince him for this reason because I know. If he did not for the first movie, he has done that for every Mission Impossible since, because I have seen a video where he explained, I got this director to film the second movie or do this. So if he did not for this one, he did for the other films, yes.
I'll say this is true as well.
Okay. Brian De Palma seems to be an unusual choice for the action film series, as the guy who directed movies like Blowout and Scarface. However, Cruise and the director had a chance to meet one day when Cruise was having dinner with Steven Spielberg. Cruise went to his home, watched all of De Palma's movies, and went to work convincing him to direct his Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, I knew.
So yeah, Tom Cruise is really the front man for this film.
Yeah, he.
Listen, I'm doing a spy movie, and I watched all of your films, and I want you to be in it.
I've watched all of your films over the course of 48 hours. I got them all. I've seen them all. You're the man. You're the man. You're the guy I want. So yeah, that was Tom Cruise was really the go-getter for this film to happen. This big franchise. He was the one who launched it, pretty much. True or false? A stuntman was used for the restaurant tank burst stunt because the risk of drowning. And we know he usually does his own stunts.
False.
I'm going to say true because this is early in Cruise's career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know he does a lot of his own stunts now, right? But, you know, this is a pretty big one, and we're trying to get this film off the ground, you know? And I know he wants to complete that. He may not have done this particular stunt. Because I know he has a stunt double. He had in fact, I know... I don't remember the guy's name, but I know that the guy who worked as his stunt double on this worked as his stunt double on Night and Day.
Mm-hmm.
So I know he had at least a dedicated stunt man.
Yeah.
For a while, and probably still does. So I'm gonna say yeah. I'm gonna say
stunt
yeah.
Guy
for
did
this
the
one.
tank burst.
I'm gonna say no. I know he did part of it. I don't know if he did all of it.
Okay. Wyatt, I want you to read this one.
It was Cruise's idea to do the scene in the restaurant with all the glass and the giant fish and lobster tanks. Originally, a stuntman was used, but De Palma didn't like the way it looked. He asked Cruise to do it, even though the scene involved 16 tons of water and there was risk of drowning. Cruise, who has become synonymous with doing his own stunts, agreed.
So a stuntman did do it, but ultimately they used Tom doing
Cruise.
it.
Yeah.
So it was kind of a trick question.
Why?
Because
In
they
all
really did
your
both.
episodes, we have to read like a whole like paragraph.
Because this is like how people learn.
Yeah, it's
We're
good.
we're conversating. We're also learning. Okay.
In that one
fun.
stunt, you guys know where Jackie Chan jumps like onto the lights and slides down. Ever seen that?
For which film?
Yeah,
don't
Jackie
remember.
Chan. Does,
I don't remember what the movie's called, but it's like a 6-story building, and it's in the interior, and there's lights, and he jumps and slides down.
I don't think I've
for
seen
one of
that.
the rush hours.
But the thing is,
No.
that doesn't surprise me. You know, he was making like $3 an hour doing all these wild stunts.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan was getting paid nothing.
Mm-hmm. And he was part of a not ballet. It was a troupe of like performers, like physical performers.
Yes.
Right. And he went from that and started doing the martial arts stuff because he was good with the stunts.
Yeah.
You know, and I think started learning martial arts along the way.
That's pretty
Which is
cool.
I was watching one guy who said he saw Jackie Chan at an event, and he walked up to him, and he said, you know, he like introduced himself, shook his hand and stuff, and he said, so there's 2 big bodyguards, and he said, so you are these guys supposed to protect you if I were to harm you? And Jackie said, they're supposed to protect you if you try to harm me.
That's a pretty cool thing to say.
And he was like, I've never been more scared in my entire life. That is
They're
dope.
probably more like, I know he's joking. He's probably honestly just to keep people from messing with him.
Exactly.
Not to do anything.
But Jackie's funny.
Yeah.
You know?
He's a humorous man.
Okay, so for the next one.
True or false? Tom experienced wind reaching 100 miles per hour at its highest when filming the train fight.
You know how long it's been since I've seen Mission Impossible?
That
A
seems
minute.
very specific. 100. No. I'm gonna say
Saying false.
yeah. I'm gonna say he did it. He actually did it, but not 100. Not 100. That's fast. That's super fast.
Yeah, I'm going to say no as well for
Okay.
this one.
To make the climax on top of the train look convincing, Cruise wanted a wind machine so powerful it could potentially knock him
Oh,
off
a
the
wind
train.
machine. What? That don't count.
He found one machine in Europe capable of doing it. The perks of stardom. Winds up to 140 miles per hour were used in the scene because
you notice how all these are kind of like trick questions.
They're definitely tricks. So
I'm a trickster.
He did 140, but it was just a fan blowing that at him.
I said 100 miles per hour at its highest, and you guys are both like, no way. No. That's too much. That's too many.
He didn't hang onto a train while going 100 miles an hour, is what I was thinking.
I didn't say that. I said
I
Tom
get
experienced
it.
wind
I
reaching.
I get it.
All right.
What's the next question?
So we were right. We both said false.
You both said false. Yeah.
So we were right. Because
Oh.
it's 140 miles.
But you guys were thinking it was less, but you're correct.
Okay, awesome.
But
Yeah.
we also,
But
I
see,
was also
it's such
thinking
a
a
trick.
train. Yeah.
This dyslexic thread has been going all the way through this whole thing.
It's not dyslexic.
Maybe we're idiots.
Or not.
Sheesh.
You guys aren't idiots.
Don't tell the audience.
You're not idiots. Okay, so true or false? George Lucas gave his input on the script.
No, Tom, listen. I want you. trying to do my Lucas impression.
That seems very specific for you. Not.
You think I'm not capable of coming up with wild stories?
No, you're not. You are, but that seems specific. I think I'm gonna say yes because it's specific. But if it's wrong, it's someone did give input, but it was probably someone like Steven Spielberg who he met with, not George Lucas. But I'm still saying right. Yes.
So you're saying true?
I'm saying true.
No, Tom. When you lower down into the safe, you're gonna be using a laser to open up the computer. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's kind of like a lightsaber. It is. I don't know.
You're going to have a floppy disk.
Tom, I want you to do a couple backflips.
What do you say? True or false?
I agree with Josh. I think it's more
true?
like Spielberg.
You think it's... Wait, he's not saying... He's saying it's just true.
No, I'm saying it's true. Because that's specific that someone gave their input.
Oh, I'll say
but
false
I think
then.
You'll say
it's
false?
probably someone like Spielberg, not Lucas, but I'm still saying true.
You're saying Lucas. I'll say false.
Okay. All right. Right. Wyatt, your turn to read.
Originally, there was a love triangle sequence early in the movie between Ethan Hunt, Jen Phelps, and Claire Phelps' wife. However, it was removed at the suggestion of De Palma's friend George Lucas. Lucas said it took the audiences out of the movie because it was out of the genre. De Palma agreed and nixed it. Wow. Lucas making a good
call
on that. Yeah,
he's like,
very
let's
much.
keep this an action film.
Yeah.
You think that would have bumped it from like PG-13 to R?
Needless.
No. This, you can have a love triangle without
needless
sex.
love story.
Needless, yeah.
Shoehorned in love story.
Yeah.
Needless.
Which
I could just
there
see-
was tones to it in this
But
film.
it was more
but
of-
it wasn't leaned into too heavily.
Mm-hmm.
There was just the whole little
Yeah, it
bit
was
about Phelps
her-
at the end being like, in the Bible it says thou shalt not covet thy
But
neighbor's
also-
wife, Ethan.
That's good that it was more of he put her there as a distraction.
Yes.
So he would be distracted.
This doesn't really work thematically with the overall feeling of the film. And
With your sleeves rolled up like this, you look like George Lucas kind of.
Yeah, he's always got his sleeves rolled up.
Hey, that's funny.
Yeah, with his
Lucas.
blue jeans, tucked in shirt.
Doesn't he always wear a turtleneck too?
No, he
No?
wears a button-up collared shirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got
That's funny.
a guy I work with. He's actually
That's Lucas?
He's actually my manager. He looks just like George Lucas. I mean, he modeled after, it seems. All right, true or false? Tom was worried the wire hanging in the film, the scene, wouldn't work to balance correctly and almost rewrote the scene, but ended up working perfectly.
True.
Yeah, that sounds true.
Okay, so it's true?
Yeah.
I don't know what year this came out, but I'm going to still say true. That's what's going to determine.
Okay. In the most famous scene in the film, Cruise hangs from wire suspended in midair while doing some hacking. While filming it, Cruise noticed he kept tilting forward and hitting his head. Then he put British pound coins in his shoes that helped create counterweights and allow him to stay balanced. So no, it did not work perfectly.
But he didn't rewrite the scene.
No, yeah, so that whole thing was false.
Yeah.
Okay.
He did it. It wasn't working. he needed a counterweight, and he put coins in his shoes.
How heavy are these coins? That seems
I
like...
don't know.
He probably was just mildly tilting forward. So he's like, I just need a little something down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's fun.
It is fun.
I wouldn't say this is the most famous scene in the movie. I say the most famous scene.
You take issue with us.
I think the most famous scene is when the elevator's going up and the dude goes, ah!
The Mighty Ducks coach.
He goes, ah!
That was horrifying.
Yeah.
I remember watching that for the first time being like,
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
And I was like 19.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I was like,
Even at 19.
I was 9.
Honestly, like 9.
I
yeah,
hadn't
when we
actually
watched
seen
this.
the first one ever. And so I went back and watched it and I was like, dude, that was kind of horrifying.
Yeah, it was horrifying.
Crazy.
They like sped up the footage to give it kind of like this gritty horror feel.
Yeah, it made you feel uneasy.
Yeah.
There's so many movies that you saw really young, and then like these few movies that you did not see
There were a
at
couple
all.
ones I saw late where
Like
I
Lord of
just-
the Rings.
Yeah, I had never seen it, and so I decided to go back and watch them. Movies like Terminator, like
Yeah.
Rambo, Predator, Alien, those kind of stuff.
Movies you missed out on.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How much more of these do we have?
I think we're getting close to the end. True or false? The film has a Top Gun Easter egg.
You might be trying to throw us off with this. I'll
Ooh.
say yeah. Go ahead. Slay, King.
Say it, Joshua. It's true or
False.
false? You say false?
Yeah. False. I want it to be true, but false.
One of the code names found in the NOC listed that the server that serves as the movie's MacGuffin is Maverick.
Ah.
This is obviously
Tom
a-
Cruise
a-
nickname for a character in Top Gun.
So
yeah.
when this computer's scrolling, as he's going through the names in that secret database that he's trying to steal from, suspended from wires,
yeah.
Maverick's one of the names.
I've been doing this a lot where I'm watching something I'm familiar with and there's writing in the background that's clear, or you can see like somebody's contacts. I've been doing a lot where I pause to read those, especially on like TV shows or movies that I've watched a lot, like Community, for example.
Because there's always
TV
a detail
shows
with
are known for doing that though a lot.
We know it, like if you watch Rick and Morty, Dan Harmon's a big fan of putting like
everything.
Everything in. So if you read the backgrounds, if you pause on like somebody's contact list, there's always some fun little Easter eggs, and it might go by faster than you can see it.
Yeah.
But it's meant to pause and look at and have a good time with.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like
remember
those details.
In Rick and Morty, when they're trying to, they put Rick in like the brainalyzer, and he's like, "Is that your memory out there between where you were on 9/11 and your favorite like baseball game or something?" And when it cuts away, for just a few seconds, you hear like
can hear
very
Rick,
faintly in the background, Rick go like, "It's a conspiracy to take away our freedom."
Oh my gosh! Oh, it's a conspiracy. Take
But
away
it's
our
really faint.
freedom.
You gotta really pay attention to hear it. It's
I
hilarious.
know about that one.
Okay, true or false? Apple paid the film $10,000 for product placement. This is a specific true or false.
I'll say false. I think they would have paid more.
False, because I don't remember seeing Apple in there.
You got eyelash. Sorry.
Other eye. You actually did on the other eye.
Josh was losing eyelashes. So both of you say false.
False.
Wyatt, read it.
Apple is now well entrenched in the world, but around the Mission Impossible times, it had suffered a huge loss, fiscally speaking. To try and bolster its image, Apple paid $15 million for promotion attached to the film. This included an Apple laptop appearing in the film that was for an upcoming model that wasn't even functional yet.
Now, I did Google it. That is the model. That it's very bulky, and the only label is right there on the inside. It's just Macintosh with that, rainbow symbol.
Yeah.
15 million is a lot different. I thought I would get one of you with the $10,000.
I was like, no way. No way. Product placement is always a lot of money.
I was watching Lone Survivor not too long ago, and do you know who, I can't even think of his name, the like douchebag guy on Instagram that wanted to be a Navy SEAL? There's a guy in Lone Survivor that paid like $15 million for a 5-minute clip in Lone Survivor.
Really?
Yeah, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and he didn't make it in Buds twice, so he paid like $15 million
to be in
the movie for 5 minutes.
Isn't that with Mark Wahlberg?
Yep.
Dang. And that was a wild film. That was all about Mark Wahlberg getting injured.
Yeah.
That was the whole
But
movie.
it was about Navy SEAls, and
Yeah.
he wanted to be a Navy SEAL that bad. He paid $15 to act like he was a Navy
Real quick,
SEAL.
just a little side note. Speaking of injuries, did you guys see the Jeremy Renner update?
No. Besides what you told me last.
He just says, I saw a picture of him. He has both legs.
Good.
And he says he broke 30 bones.
Whoa.
So he's hoping with a lot of hard training and everything that he's going to get back to it.
Dang, man. 30 bones? Was it all in his leg?
I imagine a lot.
Did he 30 bones or 30 breaks? Because that means he just like shattered
30
it.
bones.
How you don't have 30 bones in your legs? Do you?
Well, you've got a lot of bones in your feet. You've got bones in your hands. But
There was 30 breaks. Wait.
That's what I mean.
Okay, yeah. Distinguish. Is it 30 breaks
think
or
he
is it
said if
30
you, like,
individual
shattered it-
bones?
I want to say he said 30 bones.
Okay.
You guys keep going.
That's a lot of bones.
I'm going to fact check
That's
myself.
dang near your whole...
That's a lot.
I mean,
still.
you have a lot in your hand.
Hmm.
So if you broke your whole hand and almost every bone was broken, that's like 10, right?
Yeah, that's what I
Probably
imagine.
more, but yeah.
Okay. So here we go. True or false? The film intro reveals a few major plot points in the film that you're about to watch.
Yes.
This is based on memory.
Yes.
I would say yes.
So
I agree. True.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. Have you ever watched an old episode of Columbo? Never seen it.
Mm.
Or a show like that where they give you a quick preview of the upcoming episode that you're literally just about to watch? Maybe Mission Impossible was inspired by that. 7 plot points from the film is given away in the opening credits of this movie. And believe it or not, they do it with every Mission Impossible film thereafter.
Yeah.
You don't have an example of this, do you?
I don't. I'd rather not play one.
Okay.
There's one Mission Impossible film with Jeremy Renner. So
That's right.
I was trying to segue that. It says Jeremy Renner broke more than 30 bones.
Whoa, bones.
Bones, not breaks. Bones.
Not 30 breaks. 30
Sheesh,
bones. That
30
means he might have
bones.
hundreds of breaks.
Yeah.
Depending on the nature of the break.
Yeah, if it was like a shatter.
But I mean, I saw a picture.
So that means it can't just be his leg or
he's
his
laying
legs
in
up.
bed
No,
and
no.
somebody's like holding his leg, like, getting some motion in it. So
What was it exactly?
He got
A snow
run
plow.
over by
run over by his snowplow.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Where does he live where he has to have a snowplow? Get out of the cold, Jeremy.
He probably was. It
I
might have
guess-
not even been living where he was. He probably just went on.
No, it was his.
Yes,
it was
he-
his
where he
home.
lived.
He was,
It was at
helping.
his home.
He was helping a neighbor,
Uh,
and he happened.
He
to
lives
be
where there's
plowing
snow,
his-
I bet
Apparently.
that neighbor is probably
Pretty
feels
upset.
very
He feels
guilty.
upset. Yeah,
I'm
but
dead.
I think he would probably say, "I would do it again in a heartbeat."
Probably.
Help
To
somebody. To help
He'd just be like,
somebody.
I do it carefully.
Yeah, to help somebody.
For sure. He's a nice man.
He's Hawkeye.
True or false? Tom only took his flat rate of $20 million for the role in this film.
False.
Now you
he
say,
took less.
look, you say Tom only took his flat rate. You're trying to gaslight us,
Yeah. False.
saying-
He didn't take that much. He wasn't.
making it seem like we don't know what his flat rate is.
At the
He-
time, I will say
he definitely
this.
makes
I'll give
more,
you
but
this.
that's a lot
At
for
the
a film
time,
now.
this is true. His flat rate is $20 million.
Oh, that is true.
That is true. Right at the time, he only took his flat rate.
But keep in mind, he brought this to Paramount.
Yeah. So false. He took less to make the film to get it out there.
I'm going to say false as well, but he took more.
So both of you could be right or both could be wrong for different reasons.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Read it, Wyatt. This is the last
The
one.
uptick in action set pieces may have raised the budget for Mission Impossible up to $80 million, but in the long run, it didn't matter. The film ended up making a robust $457.6 million worldwide. This was great for Paramount, but also great for Cruise. Instead of taking his go-to rate at the time of $20 million, Cruise accepted a big chunk of the movie's box office instead of the flat payment. The gamble paid off. For him in a
So
major
he
way.
basically
back end.
said, yeah, my payment's going to be how well the film does.
Yeah.
Not how much I'm making up front.
But he was a big name at that point. He knew they could
Yeah.
get it.
And, he brought this to Paramount.
It was his passion
So
project.
it was up to him to make it make money. So when it did make money, it makes sense for him to be like, I deserve some of this.
By the way, that makes
means-
him an executive producer for the film because although he might not have given his personal money to the project, he gave his time for a cheap rate or not at all pay. So that is him investing his time, which is worth money.
Banking
that
on
makes
what the
you
movie
an
makes.
automatic executive producer.
I bet you he's probably done that with the majority of them, where he's taken more back end than front end. He probably has.
He gets a bigger payday for Mission
bigger
Impossible
payday,
for the
yeah.
title Mission Impossible, and
which
Tom
is good.
Cruise.
Like now too,
He gets more money that way.
when these movies go on streaming service or something, even though it's 20 years old, it's gonna make some money because it goes into a streaming service.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun information about Mission Impossible 1.
Oh, yeah.
We learned a lot. You had a good
stuff.
time?
Sure.
Did you guys keep track of your points by chance?
No.
No. Sure didn't.
But I would say we probably had an even amount.
Yeah, there's a few wrongs, but I think you got more. Actually,
Some
I
of
think
them
you
Josh got more right. than
Well,
you
I
got
knew
wrong.
a few of those things,
You knew a few of them? Gotcha.
like the glass tank thing. I knew he did the majority of the glass tank thing. I just didn't know because what I was thinking was, there's basically two shots for the glass tank. He's sitting in the chair. It breaks. There's that shot, and then there's him running from the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe when he was sitting there and it broke, that wasn't him, but he was still running from it.
Mm-hmm.
So technically he did it, but I didn't think he was sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, he did
I
it.
gambled and said that he did do all of it.
That is a crazy. They definitely couldn't have used real glass, right? To break or to
No.
let the water flow, because that would be broken glass mixed in with water that he's going to be all up
sugar
in.
glass.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But sugar glass wouldn't hold that amount of water.
True.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know how they
I don't
did
know.
it.
They probably like, so I know when he's running, they just kind of said action, he starts running and they drop a bunch
Probably
of water.
release the water.
Yeah, just
kind of thing.
release water. That's
Now,
not in a tank.
I know in Night and Day, the scene where they're riding the motorcycle and there's all the bulls are chasing them. A lot of the bulls are CG.
Yeah, very
And then in
clearly.
some shots, the bulls are real.
Yeah.
So like when they go into the bull arena and they turn around and they go out, the stunt doubles who were on the motorcycle for that shot said the bulls are real in the arena. And then there's the scene, the bull hits the door open and starts running into where they just drove the motorcycle. That's real as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't planned.
Oh, nice.
And that led into a dead end. So they had to hop off the motorcycle and climb up a wall because there were bulls rampaging towards them.
So Cameron and Tom?
No,
No,
they're
stunt
stunt
doubles.
doubles.
Stunt doubles. I got you. I was about to say. Oh,
But
man.
the bulls like actually busted through that door,
That's
be
pretty
bust.
cool.
which is cool.
Buzz,
Bulls be
buzz.
busting.
Bulls be busting.
Okay, so I want to kind of finish this episode with something fun that we're going to see a lot more, especially on the weeks that I'm producing.
Short films.
Less reading though.
No, we're going to
Oh.
keep reading the same amount. Because
Every
reading's how
time.
you learn, kids.
Okay.
Just reading's how you learn. I want to interview this short film, Evenveil.
We're gonna interview it.
We're going to review it.
Yeah, it's better.
So we all watched it. There's also behind the scenes that we all watched,
Yeah.
directed by Sam R. Balcom. Balcom. So
Is he a well-known name or nobody?
not super.
There wasn't
Hold
a ton
on,
of.
he's not a nobody. It's just a lot of people don't know who he is.
Is
So
this
it
a
wasn't
no
like
name?
a no
background
name.
character?
No, like when I watched the
extra?
behind the
We're
scenes.
talking about indie film market. You can't just be a no name. That's so rude. It's the indie film market.
When I watched the behind the scenes, he was talking like,
Look, we're gonna put this on YouTube. He
I
might find this
know.
video. Be respectful.
I know that like the way he presented himself, it was like people knew him and he's
Yeah.
well known.
He's probably been
But
working in the industry,
You're
but
saying
maybe
it's
not on a
yeah,
project
yeah.
like this.
Do you want me to pull up his
That's what
IMDb?
That's what I meant.
Yeah, yeah.
It almost like
IMDb.
like Love, Death, and Robots. I would consider something like that more indie, even though it's
But it's
on
absolutely
Netflix.
something he could have been working on.
Yeah, and he has other credits of bigger name movies, but he did that.
Right.
That's what I meant by
Yeah, like maybe he just worked in editing for other stuff, but this is something he wanted
All
to
right,
make.
let's look at his director's credits when it loads up.
He's made a Metroid short. Oh, okay. Now I gotta watch that.
Okay, so he's got
Wait,
11
go back
directing
up.
credits.
Go back up. I want to see if he's made the
Wait,
Metroid
a Wonder
one.
Woman short.
Metroid.
Is it already been made?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, 2015.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll have to watch that then.
Okay,
Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and
let's
watch
look
some
at his
stuff.
directing credits. So the most recent thing is Evenveil. He did Glass Ship before this, Metroid, The Sky Falls, Wonder Woman short. So back in 2013.
I want to see what he's worked on that aren't shorts. Is there
That's
other
all.
stuff?
It looks like. So this is video short.
He's
short,
a writer on
short,
some things. Scroll down to writing
Video
credits.
short. Everything he's done is shorts, really.
That
Scroll down
he's,
to-
that he's directed.
To writing.
I
He
got
did-
you. I got you.
Okay,
just
so it's
his-
all
just-
his
yeah.
stuff.
I'm telling you, he's a part of the indie market.
Yeah.
He is through and through indie filmmaker,
Okay.
and he does shorts. Okay, that's what he does. So, what was your guys' initial thoughts? Well, first I got to say this film is 100% about the visuals.
Mm.
All right,
Oh yeah.
100% about the visuals.
Beautiful visuals. I thought visuals were beautifully well done.
Yeah.
In a, in a time where we have the technology to take a corner of a studio and turn it into a world like this, that's impressive.
Yeah,
and
which,
that's
by
fun.
the
It feels
way-
like Elden Ring.
Yeah, everything was a small, very small, tight space, like a garage somewhere.
It's like Dynamo Dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
With a green screen that they just filmed all of these cuts on, and then they built everything, and probably I think a lot of it was Unreal, some of it.
Yeah, they used. He mentioned it, and I just forget what it was called. But yeah, they did some really beautiful stuff in this. Some just impressive visuals, good landscape making, good shots. I think good lighting. Music is really great in this. The sound mixing is top tier.
And there was moments like this one that felt kind of 300-esque.
Yeah.
It was
little
like
bit.
hyper stylized, beautiful, kind of like that. What we're seeing right here, It was. I really enjoyed that element. It wasn't the whole time,
Yeah.
but there was moments that felt kind of like 300. The way that style is.
Visually captivating. I give him a lot of credit. His stuff like this, it looks great. It looks really good. Now we know, obviously, that a lot of it's not real, but that didn't take away from the visual storytelling.
No.
It's the same with Dynamo Dream. We know a lot of it's not real.
We
can
know
see
all
a-
of it's real
a lot of
except
it's-
literally the people.
Yeah, that doesn't take away from visual storytelling. It's in the details. It's in the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Where this short film falls short is storytelling.
Okay.
It's-
I had a big question mark at the end of it.
Storytelling is bad. All of it. Sorry, it's all bad. It's bad. I can't. I'm sorry.
Okay, let me ask you this:
I couldn't.
the world that's in his mind that this samples for us.
Yeah.
Are you interested in the world?
Very interested in
Okay,
that
so
world.
you're interested in the world. You just don't like this sampler he gave us.
No. I don't say that. I'm saying
Not the visual sampler. I'm talking about the character,
the story.
how they
He's-
presented it,
Right.
Whatever.
The main character has no presence on screen. Nothing to make us believe that she is anything.
Yeah.
What are we supposed to? We're supposed to think she is a quester, perhaps a warrior, something of this nature. She has no presence.
No.
None. She, we meet her at the beginning of the film, and she is coming from something, trying to get something, right? And from what they tell us, this is a moment after she's done all of the things she's done in the story,
Yeah.
right? So where's the weight? Where's where's the things that she's holding in, that she's holding on to, the things she's afraid of?
Yeah.
Where she doesn't have this presence of...
That was the crux. That was how it ended. What are you afraid of?
But she doesn't have this...
What's your purpose?
She doesn't have this on-screen presence of being mysterious.
Yeah.
Or being...
Or troubled.
Or troubled.
Yeah. Which
Right?
her character, the way the dialogue's written, she's supposed to be troubled.
Right. But she doesn't
Didn't
feel
communicate that.
It's a difference of... How do I put this? It's a difference of how we perceive genders.
Okay.
If you're doing like this, you're not giving us anything, right? You're just introducing the character. The way that we perceive genders with men generally, men, if he comes into this the way she came into it, we know that there's something.
Okay.
Because we know that historically men do things and they compartmentalize so that they can keep doing what they have to do, even if it's the worst things imaginable.
Yeah.
Right? So we know there's that presence to them. We don't get that as much with women when it comes to adventuring stuff like this. And then how she presents herself when she is surrounded is the worst.
You mean at the very beginning?
Yeah, because a man like say Henry Cavill in that situation, I'd have been like, he could probably take down a couple of these people. Her weapon's on her back. She doesn't give any indication that she's ready to fight or willing to fight. You know, she doesn't like squeeze the haft of the weapon. There's nothing about her that makes me think she would win or fight in any way.
Yeah. So she's basically is going into this scenario where she's looking for her purpose. She's looking for her destiny. And she's willing to go through whatever to find it, basically. And then she's like wondering what's going on in the middle of her journey, you know?
Yeah.
And then it ends with her coming to a realization, or the fears or the troubles that she came into are now gone so that she can find her purpose.
In the
or
end,
that the purpose, there is no such thing as a purpose, which that one character showed up.
The ending is the strongest part, where she stands up and she clearly regains something strong, something powerful. But you want a character to go into a situation like this strong and powerful.
Yeah.
They have something in them, right? Some strength. And then in this, kind of tripping backstory, you break them down. You see all the things that they've hidden, that they fear, that they've done, that they regret. And then when they stand up, they have a new they've regained something new, something more powerful than they had before.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like a psychedelic journey. You have to revisit everything to come out on
but it didn't feel like we broke her down.
No.
You know?
We didn't know who she was to break
She
down.
didn't go into it with anything. Male characters on screen without saying anything often deliver a lot of story in their eyes, in their face, in the way that they carry themselves that she didn't.
Do you think it's not so much about like her specifically? Do you think they just put her, like a woman, in a setting that a woman like isn't naturally going to be expected, or because it feels like they put a woman in a situation that fits best for a male character? Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like a social justice move. I don't know.
No, it's a decision that they made.
Yeah. They made
right?
it, but it's the characters, obviously. The way the vibe of the character seems like it would fit you're saying, a lot better with a male character, but that's a setting. As
the episode goes on, though, they say that, you do fear things. You are lying.
Yes.
Because you've taken this weapon, you've essentially stolen a destiny that doesn't belong to you, and you have tried to live up to it.
Yeah.
Right? But
from what though?
But it doesn't ever feel like she does that, like that she's carrying that, right?
So is it more in the acting?
Yeah,
it's
so casting was a problem?
Number one, it's in perception. The actress does a good job. I never feel like she's like hokey on screen, but she doesn't, like this dude holding the axe.
This feels natural.
It feels natural. I feel gravitas. I feel like there's something mysterious. Who is this man? What is he,
He's made that axis B.
Right.
B word.
The other thing, something that you could have characterized her with, the way he walks up holding it makes him look like a warrior. She's carrying it on her back, which makes it look like she's just carrying a weapon. When she walks up at the beginning, she should have been holding it in her hand at her side, or they make this axe, you see the way it's shaped, right? Almost a yoke. It almost has a yoke-like shape.
You're right.
If she had been carrying it like a yoke, like a burden, I think I would have believed her character.
Yeah, like a burden. Like, because it's a visual burden.
It's a visual representation of the burden that she's carrying.
Which is all around this
like
MacGuffin axe.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
I got you. Yeah, that's actually a good point.
I just think there's a lot of things that you could have done to characterize her or characterize this character to make it feel like a story that we're jumping into that has weight to it.
True. And I agree with all of your points. I really do. I think that the story's lacking. I needed about probably another 10 minutes from this film or a complete...
you didn't.
No.
I needed another 10 minutes.
No, you didn't.
Probably.
That's the thing. I'm saying they could have done everything they did, but with...
Well, I was going to say, or a heavy rewrite.
Yeah, with proper writing. And that's...
Well, as is, I need another 10 minutes.
The guy who worked on this is very clearly a visual storyteller. Right,
100%. That's his strength.
And that seems to be his strength. It's very good. It's beautiful, but his characterization could use some work, and that's not a negative. It's a constructive criticism, I believe. You know,
no, 100%. I don't think we're not saying this is a bad film.
I want to see stuff like this. I want to see him do more stuff like this
surrounding the Red Veil lore.
With good characterization.
Yeah, but around this world, around the Red Veil, around this fallen star that has this energy power source kind of thing.
Sure.
I think it's a cool
love
world.
it because it feels like Elden Ring. It feels like Dark Souls. You know, I like that kind of stuff. Now, the weapon is stupid. It's the
I thought you would say this.
Stupidest weapon.
It's not functional.
However,
I like it. Joshua likes
it. It does look cool, you know.
I like it.
It's very unique, but I think
it's unique because no one thought it would be reasonable to do that.
Right.
I don't want another Excalibur.
Right, exactly. I agree. I like axes. If she'd been carrying it like a yoke, it would have characterized the weapon as well as more. Listen,
I hear you. I'm not laughing.
As more than a weapon, because the axe is a character in this.
Yeah,
we follow it as much as 100%. We follow her.
Yeah,
it's part of her story, and she's part of it. So you have to characterize your weapons if you're gonna make such a big deal about weapons. You know. Anytime in a book where they describe somebody's weapon, being like, "Oh, he found it in the vales of Norgath, and because he slew a werewolf," and you know, it's like I don't care about nobody. Tell the story. If the story is gonna be about the weapon as well,
do a better job.
We need to know a reason why.
Maybe he's like, I have this crazy world. It's during C word. People were getting sick, right? Everyone's at home. And then he's like, okay, I'm just going to throw together a script and we're going to start production on this crazy visual story.
Yeah.
So it might just be a thrown together script that's like a sliver. You remember when we were kids and we did that little short that was like the Raiders or something?
Yep.
It was based on this idea that I did have in my head, and I thought, let's just film one scene. And it ended up being like a weird off-brand Lord of the Rings. But I was, 10?
Yeah,
young.
He needed something to build his world around,
and it was a visual world in his mind for this project.
Yeah, the visuals have stories.
Yeah,
and that's what was most important.
And you can see that. I suggest. Oh, Joshua, you didn't give a lot of thoughts. What were your thoughts?
Sorry.
So I was very confused through most of it, what was happening till that guy showed up and said like, "Oh, you took this burden," and then it made it clear at the end. I think I was too confused through majority of it and only relying on visuals. I wish it was a little bit more clear story. I understand what Wyatt was saying about the character, but that wasn't what I was thinking. I was just thinking I'm too confused through too much of the story, and then it's clear at the end.
Gotcha. I mean, I don't disagree with really honestly either of you, except the fact that I might lean towards praising it a touch more, just because of I see the intention behind it.
Yeah,
and it was all visual, and it seems like that's what this guy.
Oh no! As a short film, I praise the heck out of it. Not a lot of people are doing stuff like this.
People are making short films. It's normally bad.
Yeah, I want to see more stuff like this.
We want to see more of your world, Sam.
Yeah.
Just get some help on the writing script.
Some good characterization. Maybe not. My mother made this weapon. A little weird in this medieval world. Women weren't blacksmiths.
And it's okay to cast some dudes.
Yeah,
I think it's all right.
I wanted to know more about that mysterious dude who picks up her axe.
Oh, honestly, he kind of stole the show from me.
I wanted was the dude that she holds the axe to his neck. Was that the same dude later with the sword?
No, different. That was like a kid.
See, I wanted to see. I thought they were the same person initially. I was like,
two different people.
I thought, wouldn't it be interesting if she's like helping this dude and then he's evil?
So this is the guy she held the axe to. This is the guy she sees later, and this is the guy who's holding the axe at the end.
Okay.
So like the dark, like the town at night.
Yeah.
Where he's like confronting, he grips the sword. That was this guy. This is the dude at the landscape that she's holding the axe to, and he's holding her axe at the end.
Okay.
So Ralph, Gregory, and Nick are Canner
and
Canner
and Kennar. Interesting.
The Vagabond and Finlome.
I like that one.
You like Finlome?
Finlome or Finlome?
Finlome, probably Finlome. Honestly, 1 out of 10. Let's do it, and then we'll wrap this puppy.
5.
5.
I had to give it 5.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm super surprised by what they did in their garage.
Look, all 5 of those points go towards
Visuals.
every good thing about this.
Yeah.
Right? The 5 that it misses is because of the story, because of characterization, not the story. The story seems like it has some weight, like it's got some interesting stuff in there. Kind of tropey, but that's okay. Good tropes tell good stories. That's what I always say. You guys have heard that from me. No, just characterization, I think.
100%.
100.
100. Good job. That's the episode.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, if you want to join the Patreon, links in the description. Go check it out there. We love you. We don't have any cool ending.
No.
Besides, we just taper off. And so long. That's it.
That's it. That's the
How
end
do
of
you,
the episode.
did you like the episode?
Midnight Special ending is gone now.
Yeah.
That's true, yeah.
We'll come up with something. We'll come up with a interesting way to start ending.
Do you think there's going to actually be people that are upset?
Maybe. I think it's going to be our friends.
Yeah.
The ones
Just the friends.
that listen to the
The ones that'll
Special.
text us when they hear this and be like, yo, what the heck, man?
Yeah. Well, Seth's always texting us like.
Well, we already told Seth.
I haven't told Tim yet, and I know Tim I
Seth
think
is probably already
exclusively
told
listens
Tim.
to the